Hey guys, Terry Red here, and in this video, I'm going to be answering the question, where is your Silent Hill future pinball table you've been working on, Terry Red? Well, spoiler alert, guys, it ain't done, and it's got a long ways to go. So this video is basically to kind of catch you guys up, to at least give you some kind of preview of what I've been doing. I've had to take a break from it numerous times. Uh, Bottom line is, since this last video that you're watching right now was posted a long time ago, I had a stroke, which messed me up, and I had to get heart surgery. So I decided to take a break from working on this to do smaller projects that were easier for me to do. So that's why you saw multiple other table updates from me in the last while, or Sonic Pinball Mania and other things like that. Uh, Whereas this table is massive. It's huge. Like it's literally multiple tables in one. It's doing a lot of things that no one's really ever done before, and I've never done before, and I'm learning as I go. So it takes a long time. So, I had to take a break from it, and now that I'm getting back to better health, I'm able to get back into it. But being that it's Halloween, I wanted to give you guys an update. So that's what this video is going to be about: is showing you all the new stuff, some of the behind the scenes things, and just to take you through the game. Since I've never really talked about it on my channel, I've shown you videos, but I've never talked about it. So I figured, maybe I'll just kind of explain some of the cool stuff that's going on here and the really neat new things that I've added. So yeah, so that's what this video is going to be about. So, Silent Hill. So, this is basically a table I've always wanted to do. I always told myself if I was to do my own original table, this is the theme I would always want to do. And, I would be very different than traditional pinball. So that's what this has been becoming. It started off as a mode in Retro Flare 2, which was a mod of Retro Flare. And but then eventually I decided, no, I'm going to make it its own complete separate table, all original. And so that's what this eventually became. Especially now with what I'm going to show you today. What I have today with all the latest updates, there's no anything left over from Retroflare or any other table. It's all new layouts, new code, new sounds, new everything. It's a completely original table, or I should say original tables, because it's like literally multiple tables, as I'll show you. So yeah, we started off in the old days. This is the original mode on Retro Flare. Like, look how simple this looks in comparison way back then. Oh man! And then eventually evolved into its own table and started to look more like this, but I still had the same basic stuff from Retro Flare for the layout and all that. And then eventually it became its own, nice new table with, yeah, like what we see here, like with the newer updated art, all the models from the games. A lot of these are the original models from the old Silent Hill games from 20 plus years ago. And, I really wanted it to have the visuals of Silent Hill, which is the fog, the foggy world, the darkness, the otherworld, the flashlight, and and then the transitions to the other world with the animated effects and all that. And those are all things that Future Pinball could do. And I was very happy because with all the newer updates with raycast ball shadows and shadow maps, like you could see right here, combining that with the lighting, you could have it look really, really good and really convincing and have a Silent Hill look. You know what I mean? With all real time lighting, no baking or pre-baked or faked lighting is needed. You can do this all much easier in Future Pinball, as well as the extra stuff that allows me to make it a game that changes over time. So that's why if you watched the video earlier, you see that it changes to different levels as we progress, right? The layouts change, the ramps change, the upper playfield will change, and I have animated monsters and all sorts of different things happening, and that's why I make stuff on Future Pinball, because you can do this and much more, which I will show eventually in the future, and I can't do that on Visual Pinball. That's the bottom line. I used to get asked by people, why do I create on Future Pinball instead of Visual Pinball? Well, that in short term, it's because it does all the things I want it to do, and Visual Pinball simply cannot. And that's the bottom line, guys. I don't care what program I'll use. I'll use whatever does what I want it to do. Future Pinball absolutely does all of what I want it to do, and it looks great. You know, but the results speak for themselves. So that's the bottom line here, guys. If you look at the Future Pinball table, I'll show you. This is the actual game in Future Pinball. This is the main table layout. And these are a couple of the upper play fields right here. Here's one, here's the other, and then here's multiple sets of ramps. I can swap any of these out in the play field at any time, just like a P3. If you've ever seen a P3 pinball machine that allows you to change to half the play field, it's kind of like that. But you know, you can combine it with upper play fields. You can combine it with a lower playfield inside the cabinet. You can animate it. You can do all sorts of stuff, and that's the kind of thing you can't do that in Visual Pinball. So amongst the other things I add too, like, you know, and this doesn't show everything on the table. There's a lot more with BAM that you can't even see on here. Hundreds and hundreds of models and just all sorts of stuff that goes on behind the scenes. So yeah, there's gonna be a lot more that I'm adding. You know, there's just way more that you haven't seen yet that you won't see in this video, but you will see in the future. So yeah, it's a complex table, guys. There's a lot to it. It's not just a simple update or a mod or a reskin. This is all new, all original, and it's a lot of work. So the other aspect is doing the art in GIMP. You know, this is where you can see the basic playfield art that I can change and swap up. You know, now currently you're seeing half the art missing. The reason for that is because, well, I've changed the layout on the whole game. All the layouts are different now for the whole upper half. The ramps are all different, mostly different, you know, so all the art has to be redone. And I have to wait until I am positively sure I'm not going to change anything before I can change any of that. And that goes for the playfield art, the plastics, especially the plastics, and the decals that go on there. You know, so these are what go over top of your inserts, for example. This is all stuff I do, and I just use GIMP. I don't use Photoshop. I just use old GIMP. It works for me, you know. And the other big thing I've learned to do is I've learned to import a Future Pinball table into Blender and to recreate the table in Blender with lighting and models and everything. And that's what you see right here. Look at that. Does that not look freaking cool? I am so stoked that I was able to get this is the first time I ever did anything like this, you know, and it turned out great. Like, you know, it's actually easy to import a table into Future Pinball or from Future Pinball into Blender. But you have to, you know, add in the actual lights for the bulbs and everything else, right? But yeah, this is like the new layout. You know, this is, you can see some things have changed here. And I guess I'll explain some of that here. So, for example, let's just go with the old one here. All right, so here's the old layout. All right, if you look, you get like 3-4 shots. You get 1 ramp, 2 ramp, a shot into the middle bumpers, and a half loop that goes into it's not even an orbit, it's just loops around into the bumpers. That's the retro flare layout that this was based on. You know, and then you have just the drop targets on the sides, and that's it. So all of that has been changed out now. So if you look at the new layout that I did in Blender here, now you still have the 2 ramps, right? But now you have a whole new section in here where you got another inner loop that comes into the bumpers and then exits out. You've got another target in here with a drop target that can hold it in there, and another target in here. And now you've got an actual full orbit coming all the way around with a spinner over here. And if you look at the drop targets, they're gone, right? Now I have stand-up targets here. And I have a new inventory kicker, and I'll be showing you more of what that is. That's a brand new feature, just like in the Silent Hill game where you could collect health items, weapons, maps, and other things. You'll be doing that now in this new version of the game. And you'll be able to go into the inventory kicker here and access all that, and I'll explain more of that later, but it's a really cool new feature. And if you look on the right side here, drop targets are gone. And now we have a new, I guess I'll call it the Seal of Metatron Magna spinner. It's basically kind of like what I added to Sonic Pinball Mania. So if you hit a ball in here, and if it hits one of these targets, it'll activate the magnet, which will hold the ball in here. This will spin around, and then you'll see the lights also circulating around. And then if you hit the launch button, whatever light is lit, that's the direction the ball will shoot out. If you don't push a button, then it times out and then shoots the ball for you anyway. So that's a totally new feature for this. And for the bottom half, you also have now another outer lane ball lane here that the ball will travel here and then basically come down through here and then into the lane like this. You used to have nothing here. It was just the outer lane and that's it. So now the ball can come in here and travel here and go down like that. And you can also see the ramps are a little different than they were before. And you can also see the models around are changed up for this one layout. But now that it's in Blender, I can just recreate the lighting. Boom, look at that. And you can see how cool this looks. Now, it's not going to look this nice in Future Pinball. You can use this pre-baked lighting. You absolutely can do that, but you have to do it manually. I don't have the Blender toolkit like the Visual Pinball does. And that's an awesome feature that NEOAC has added to Visual Pinball. But so I'd have to do it the manual old-fashioned way. So what I am hoping to do is basically use everything in Blender here. Well, first and foremost, I did it so that I can build up all the playfields easily and then just export that as a model, as an FBX model into Future Pinball, because BAM allows you to do that. Much easier doing it in Blender than it was how I was doing it before. And because I have this layout changing to multiple different layouts throughout the whole game, as I'll show you, then it's way easier to do it in here. So that's one of the big reasons why I wanted to recreate this in Blender. The other reason is I can do pre-baking as well, but I can do it for things like shadows, so that can really, really make things look very, very cool. Like, I can use Future Pinball for the main bits of lighting, that's fine, but for things like shadows, like see how there's shadows cast from the wall here, from this here, from the car, from the sign, down on the playfield, basically all the shadows. I can pre-bake those and use those, and if done right, can really look good. Like for example with the ramps. Just all these shadows, if you added them in, would make it look really cool. And you can even do it with all these models as well. It's a lot of work. It's new stuff I have to figure out. But if I can make it work, it would look so cool combined with Future Pinball's dynamic lighting. Because I have a lot of the stuff that moves around on a playfield that has light sources on them. Again, that's the kind of thing you cannot do on Visual Pinball. So that's why. And if you've ever played this in VR, which I can tell you right now, this table looks amazing in VR. It's a night and day difference when you have real-time lighting versus pre-baked stuff. So I can combine all of it together, but I'm going to have to play around, and that's the kind of stuff I'm learning to do. So yeah, this is the main new layout, which also changes up. Here, I'll actually show you that there. So for example, this is the initial layout with 2 ramps, right? So let's say if I take that away, now I can put my other ramp set up. So now we have it with the right ramp, for example, and then a left wire ramp. Or if I want to change that up, I can do it with the left ramp and a wire ramp that way. Here, let me zoom in more so you can get a better idea. And if you're wondering why it shimmers like that, this is all real-time ray-traced rendering that's going on. So, yeah, let's just say my video card works really hard to do this. Pretty cool, but you're not going to have anything like this in Future Pinball. Like, maybe VPE, Visual Pinball Engine in the future, but that's a long ways away, guys. So, yeah, you can see. So it swaps up all the plastics and everything else. If I wanted to have... for example, that the funnel ramp combo here, that swaps out if I want to have just the 2 wire ramps. And then drop targets. that swaps out. And that's what the game actually does. It changes this stuff up throughout as you progress through the game. So you can have the layout change, but we can also change up what's up there as well. Here, maybe I'll turn on the lighting here so you can see it a little better. So, for example, I can change out the town items. Let's see if that'll show up. Maybe not that one. Hold on a second here. Maybe I'm not doing this right. It's been a while. Give me a second here. Oh, that's why. Okay. Yeah. So you got that one. And then you got this guy here. Yep. So see, you can change that up. And this is all stuff you'll see today. I'll show you later in the video. And then we'll go here and then boom. Oh, there we go. Oh, I guess I did that the hard way before. Oh no, that's the same one I had before. Hold on. This guy here. Ah, that's why. Okay. There you go. And then you can see we got the hospital, Pete's Bolorama. That's and Texon. So you can see I can change up a lot here. Okay. So that's with the main layout, which swaps up a lot of stuff. Okay. So that's Upper Playfield 1. Right? We swap that out. Let's put Upper Playfield 2 in there. So now this is a new layout you guys haven't seen yet. Here, I'll move those monsters out of the way. Where are they there? There they are. So this is a new layout that you can see. And I'll be showing that today. Just give me a second here, guys. Sorry about this. Let's see. Streetlights, flash bulbs. There you go. You got a little bit there. And there we go. We got that. There we go. Sorry. All right, now you can see it. So as you can see, this is all the new stuff that's on here, the new town stuff, the new layout, and I'll show the actual gameplay of this later on. But you can see all the different things I can change up in here. Just like as if you're playing in the game. When you progress through, you'll see all this change up. And this is like a complete different upper playfield with all different ramps that come down here. So again, this is like something that it's never really quite been done like this before. So it's a learning curve, to say the least, to learn how to best make this work. And yeah, so that's basically all the stuff in Blender. I kind of wanted to show off there, So you can see the visual difference, of one versus the other. This is the old setup. And again, I haven't recreated these in Blender yet. I'll be doing that soon as well. And the idea is that I'll be able to bake in, hopefully, shadows to make it all look much more realistic and nice. So yeah, I guess I wanted to just go through and show you my current process of how I'm trying to learn how to do things. And that takes a long time. So yeah. So I guess we'll carry on to a gameplay demonstration of some of the new stuff. All right, so let's launch this sucker. All right, so it might take a little while to load. It's not the longest loading feature pinball table, but considering we're talking about literally multiple tables in one table with hundreds and hundreds of models and tons of 4K textures, it's going to take a little while. So that's not unusual. But so I'm going to just go through, basically carry through most of the game and kind of show you the differences. So understand, compared to the older demos I've shown, the plastics art and the playfield art is either going to be completely missing or bare bones basic stuff. Just placeholders for now. Like, the art I had before was nice. It was complete and it looked really good with the shadow maps and all the nice lighting, everything was all done really nice. Whereas we don't have the shadow maps, we don't have the art, we don't have any of that stuff. So, it's going to look not as great in comparison, but you're going to see all the new stuff that I can show you. So, yeah, we'll just go through this. All right, so here we go. So the way I made this game is so that you can either go through the whole game, start to finish, which is going to be a long game. This is going to take you probably, when this whole thing is done, it's going to take you over an hour at least to get through this game. And now that's with you not struggling too much. Yeah, it's going to be huge. So what I did was I made sure that I made it so that you don't have to play through beginning to end. You can just play each chapter or each scene or section of the game whenever you want. So that way, you get to enjoy all aspects of the game. But if you want to complete the game, you will have to go from beginning to end. But you won't have to do that to be able to see and access all parts of the game. There's no point in me putting all this work in if, the majority of people will never get to see most of it, right? So yeah, another aspect that's different is there's no balls in this game. What I mean by that is you don't get 3 balls or 5 balls. You get health. So it's very, very different in this. I guess I'll explain more as we go along. So when you start, that's the good old Silent Hill 2 start sound there. So you're given the choice of being able to go through any scene you want. So currently this is what I have set up. All these scenes. There's going to be more. I have the hospital levels I still have to do, the church levels I'll have to do, and there may be multiple ones for those you can do in between. But bottom line is, you can do whatever you want at any time. So we'll just jump in. So this is the intro, just like in the movie. Yes, it's based on the movie, because to me, the movie had a better selection of everything that I can make work in this with what I can do and with the resources I have access to. So the models I can animate, because I have to make them all animate myself. I can't get animals, for example, to animate and stuff like that. So the movies, monsters, I can make work fairly easily, and I can get resources or models to look similar to that. The movie has much better sound and voiceover resources, and also the video resources, which you'll see when this is all done. You'll see the Pup Pack Pup DMD display with the videos from the movies and stuff like that added to it. So and the story just works better, and it also had a nice. I wanted to have Pyramid Head, and I liked the other monster. I wanted to have the Janitor Monster, and then I wanted to have the whole scene at the church at the end, and the nurses, so it had a good selection of everything I wanted to have in there. So I'm using the movie as the story basis, and I'm throwing bits of the actual original games in there, just to add more to the gameplay. So it's not a one-to-one for the movie or a one-to-one to the game. It's kind of a mix of everything in between. So I'm just going to show you some of the differences here. So as I talked about before, now we have the inventory kicker. We also have, here, I'll just move that out of the way. You have a left orbit and a right orbit now. You've got an inner loop to the bumpers, and you've got your normal shots and another one here. And now you have the Magna spinner, the Seal and Metatron Magna spinner, and the outer lane alley there as well. Now you can see the plastics look terrible. It's just a placeholder of all just green grass everywhere. That will be changed in the final thing. I can't do the art until I know for sure nothing's going to change. Once I know for sure nothing's going to change, I can do the art, and then I can do the baking in Blender and all that stuff. So this is just placeholders for now. And as you can see, it looks like a white wood. Half the art's missing. So the other thing is, that's a big difference, is now the health items. So this is different than it was before. Before, I associated health with the drop targets that used to be on the sides, and when you activated, then it just topped up your health. And your health in this game is what you use to stay alive. So if you drain a ball, you lose a little bit of health. If certain monsters attack you, you lose a little bit of health. But so it's not going to be 3 balls or 5 balls. It's however you're. If you nudge too many times, you'll lose health. You know, things like that. So the idea here was I wanted to make it so that you could collect health items just like you did in the Silent Hill game. So you have the health drink, the med kit, and the ampoule. And the way you'll do that is for the health drink, you'll hit all the silent targets. So that's the SILE targets here, and then the NT targets over there. And what will happen is it will then light up that insert. It'll start flashing. You have 30 seconds from that point on to hit the inventory kicker. Then you've collected that health item and you keep it. It doesn't top up for you. You keep it and you can stack them. So you can collect more than one, just like you did in the Silent Hill games. And the same thing with the med kit. The idea there is you have to hit all 4 of these targets in the Magna spinner there, and then this will start flashing, and then you have to hit the inventory within 30 seconds to collect it. For the ampoule, currently I have it so that the hilt rollovers here, all 4 of them, if you hit all of those, and then that'll start flashing, and then you have to collect it in there. Now the thing is, each of them gives you a different level of health. So this is the lowest amount, this is the middle amount, and then that's the maximum amount. So just like it is in the Silent Hill game. So that I really wanted to incorporate that into inventory. So that way you can stack them and you can choose when to use your health at any time. You know, so later on in the game, you know, when you really need them. There will be a maximum amount though. You can't collect an infinite amount. So you will only have so many you can collect. But I really am happy I got that working in here because that changes the dynamic of the game completely. The other thing is as well, and I'll show you later on, is the combat. So now we have actual combat in the game. We have melee or melee, I'm not sure how you pronounce that, or so we'll have a wooden plank that you can attack monsters with, but you also have the handgun and the shotgun. You know, I could have added more, but that was more than enough for what we're doing in a pinball game here. You know, I was going to have the steel pipe and a knife or something, but those are used in the story for other reasons, so it made more sense just to keep those 3 main basics that are the most popular ones from the games anyway. So yeah, so that's some of the bigger changes. I'll demonstrate some stuff as we go there. So also the Flowers, which used to be on the slings, is now at the kickback. So what it does is it lights up to show you that the kickback is active. It'll also act as a beacon when you hit the Magna spinner, and you'll see all that. The other thing, if you've never seen any of the videos, is if you look at the portal on the left orbit, you can toggle that with your flippers. So the idea is when your ball is launched into the portal on the right plunger lane, it will then come out of whichever one of these is active at the time. So you get to choose where the ball is going to shoot out every time. So you know, that's another. It works neat into the gameplay. So, all right. So we'll just start carrying through there now that I've explained some of the basics here. All right. So there you go. So now I can choose where to shoot that wherever I want. So.
Only the dark one opens and closes the door to
so there you go. You can see a little bit of health got drained, and now the DMD is going to show you what you have for a weapon, if you have any, which we have none right now, and what your health is and what the objective is. So if you see here, so now I can choose where I want the ball to shoot out. I may change up the speed of how that shoots out. I'm still playing around with what's best for that. So if you've never seen the movie, bottom line is you woke up in Silent Hill and you're
no idea what's going on.
And you're looking for your daughter. It's the bottom line. So that you see a little girl on the playfield that resembles your daughter, and you're basically following her to try to see what the heck is going on. All right, so let's try to see if we can get anything else going on here. Now, you know what? Heads up, I'm going to be using the ball controller because I don't want this video to go forever. So I'll show you an example of the inventory here, okay? So if you go into the inventory, you'll notice that it starts flashing orange and then it'll flash red. The idea is that if you want to enter the inventory, you have to use your action button. Whether that's the flipper or the Magna save, the fire button on the lock bar. So as long as it's orange, you hit the button, then it'll access your inventory. If you just let it go, it'll just kick it out, and that's what the red light means. So we'll do that. So it's orange. So now I hit it. Now it goes green to show you that you're in the inventory now. So you can use your flippers to navigate, your action button to select, and you can use the start button to go back a menu, or it'll have that in the menu as well. So if I use my flippers, so I have health items, I have weapons, and I have maps. So if you go, or you can exit out. So if I go into health items, now you see I can have health drinks. It shows how many I've collected, the maximum I can collect, how much it increases, and my health. If I do the med kit, it's the same idea, only now it's a higher amount that it increases, and same with the ampoule, it's an even higher. How much that changes for your health, I may add a difficulty option for the game, just like the Silent Hill games had. So, you know, we'll see about that. That might change in the future. But so yeah, so there you go. That's for your health. If you want to go back, you just go back to the main menu, and now we have weapons. So it shows our 3 weapons options, but we don't have any right now, so that's why we can't use any. If you try to use it, it'll tell you don't have it. Same with a health kit. If you don't have it, it won't work. So maps, same idea. So you eventually will collect the town map, school map, hotel map, and the hospital map, just like in the games. Now, how useful they'll be in the town, that's a whole level on its own that I'll show you later on. But as far as the school and the other levels, I'm still figuring out how best to make that work. It might not be very in depth. So yeah. So if you want to exit out, you can either go back via exit, or you can just push the start button to go back one menu. All right, and then it kicks your ball out. So now I want to show you if you collect a health item. So you can see I've hit all the targets for silent. Now this is flashing green, and the insert for the inventory is also flashing green, telling you, okay, you need to hit this shot if you want to collect this guy here. You only have 30 seconds to do it though. And if you don't do it within 30 seconds, then it'll turn red, and you'll hear a sound letting you know that, oh, you suck, you took too long, and you're not going to get it. So I'll just let that go for a second here. And I may add extra sounds or something to, there you go. So we'll just do it again to collect it. Alright, so you got 30 seconds there. So if you hit the kicker, there you go, we've collected a health drink. And it does the ever famous, Silent Hill sounds when you collect something and pick up an item. So if you go back to your inventory, now you'll see we have a health item. And we can increase it by 25. So we can do that. And there you go. Our health is topped up. Maximum 100. You can't go over 100. So keep that in mind when you use your health items, so that way you'll best utilize them. And same thing with the other lanes here. So we have 3 of them lit up. They're not. You can't toggle them. And then if you hit all of them, all right. So you saw a couple things. So you saw the kickback on the left side, and you also saw the Magna spinner on the right activate. So now you can see the ampoule, which is the maximum amount you can get. So we can collect that. And then if you want, you can go into your inventory right away. You don't have to go back into it. You can just instantly go into it. And there you go. And then you saw the Magna spinner here. So if you hit any of those targets, they'll light up and do the Magna spinner. So watch here. So if I push the button, it's going to shoot in the direction of whatever light was active at the time. But if you look, you'll see 2 of the lights are lit up. So if I hit the other 2 by hitting these other targets, and you can only do 1 at a time, then it'll activate the med kit. Alright, we'll try to get the last one. There you go, you can see it. And then you can collect it. Now, you can also stack them. So what I mean by that is, each of these are independent. So you could have all three of them flashing at the same time. Yeah, I'll do that right now, as a matter of fact. Here, I'll try that. Alright. And I'll get that. There we go. So you can see, you got two of them going at the same time. Now, their times are independent. So you have to make sure that you, there you go, you get both of them. So if you have two or three at one time going, you know, you want to collect them while you can, so you can stack all of them and make use of them later on. So, see? So that can be very handy later on in the harder parts of the game. So I know it's a lot to go through, but you know, it's a big part of the game, and it's kind of like built-in hurry-up modes, right? So when any of these activate, well, you got a limited amount of time before you can collect it. So, you know, it's a way of adding modes into the game as a part of the game, a function of the game, instead of just an extra side mode. You know what I mean? You don't realize it's a hurry-up mode because it's just a, you know, a function of the game, right? So, yeah. So the weapons we can't do until later. So for now, we just got to follow through with what's going on here. All right, so there's Sharon. We've been following, well, we think it's Sharon, and so if we go there.
Sharon? Honey?
Alright. So this is just the first part of the game, guys. I'm going to go through this quickly from this point on. I just needed to explain the inventory and all that because it takes a while. So if we do this last shot in here, now it's going to change into the Otherworld, the darkness, if you will. And yeah, the famous siren. Now, anyone who's a big Silent Hill fan from the first games, the siren was more of a symbolic thing in the games, whereas in the movies it was a more practical thing. If you actually watch the movie, you'll understand. The movie and the games vary in their story. They're not exactly the same. So here we go. So now we're in the same area, but now it's changed. It's all rusty, and it's raining and dark. So you have to ignite your lighter. And now your ball is going to have a light source from your lighter. Alright, so what we do here is we basically do our best. Now, when you have all the art in here, it's much darker looking. You know, it's easy to see right now because we don't have the art. But when the art, if you watch my older videos, you'll see it's much more difficult to see when it's all dark.
Do you know what's going on here?
Alright, so there we go. Alright, so there's the famous wheelchair that she sees in the alleyway, which is a hint of what's going on with the game's story that you might find out later on. And then we got a bloody table here.
Oh my God.
Then now we see the little girl again. So we want to try to follow her. Sorry guys, I don't want to take forever here. Alright. And we investigate, and we find a corpse. Now, keep in mind, when this game is done, guys, you're going to see, like, you know, videos on the Pup DMD display and all that, you know, when it's all done, so that all this ties in together. So now, one of the Grey Children has appeared, and you can't escape through the orbits, because you have these pop-up targets that are blocking your path. So, we have no weapon, so all you can do is run away. Alright, so now we have a path that's been opened up to us. It's basically a door we push open in the movie. So if you go through here, goes, passes out, and then wakes up to foggy world again. And everything's gone. And now, whoa, everything's different. What the heck happened? Now we have a complete different layout because we're in a different part of Silent Hill. So now, as you can see, the upper playfield and the ramps are completely different now. Alright, so now I'll take you through here how this layout is a little different. So first of all, we hear a noise. We don't know what that noise is. Well, if you look on the bottom right, it's the radio. That's a Silent Hill staple that when you hear static coming through your radio, it usually means there's something nearby, whether it's a monster or something. So we got to find out where that noise is coming from, and by going up here, we find the radio. So from this point on in the game, we have that radio. All right, so with this layout, you have an upper loop here. You've got another loop in here. You've got a path in here to that wire ramp on the right, but you can't get into there because it's blocked, and there's no flipper here. And you've got two magnets here. You've got one on this post, similar to the Godzilla table, if you've ever seen the real Stern. It's kind of like that. And then you got another magnet here, so that when that's activated and you hit your action button, it'll fire the ball up through here. So you have to, use the various different things in the table to figure out how to do that. So to do that, you hit this target here and this target here, and now you see it's flashing. So when it's flashing, it'll stay flashing, and then you can just shoot your ball up there however you want to. So now you do that, hit action button, and boom. And you can see this is a much more faster, flowy type layout. And you can see there's flashing lights here. So what that means is if you shoot into the orbit up here, there's a wall that will stop your progress because that's flashing. And then when the ball comes down, boom, you notice that now it's lit solid. So that means that your path through is opened up, so you can continue more. And now you've hit the next one, which is the same idea. And then now that's been opened up. And then now you can make the third shot to get all the way through. And then you hit the orbit, and now we found our first weapon, which is a wooden plank. So now what it's saying is equip the wooden plank. So this is basically introducing you to how the inventory and the weapons work. So what you do is you go into your inventory, press action, and then we're going to go to our weapons. So now the wooden plank is saying not equipped, whereas the other one's saying not available. So that means that we have the wooden plank in our inventory. So now we've equipped it. So now we can use that if we run into a monster for the combat. And you can see it shows up here which one we have enabled by lighting it up. So now it's telling us, okay, we have to make this shot now. Well, I already showed you how to do that. So if you do that, then you can make that shot. However, if you hit this guy, you'll notice the other one is flashing now, the other pink one. So if you hit that, it's going to activate that magnet. And if you hit that magnet, well, then it's going to loop you around. So it's kind of just an extra, thing to kind of throw you off a little bit. So if you go up in here.
This place is completely cut off.
All right, so we've made our first bit of progression. And then now we want to make our way through here again, because it's telling us to go there.
Only the dark one opens and closes the door to silent.
All right, we've progressed a little bit more. So now, for the last part, we want to go here. Now, if you don't hit the button, it won't shoot. So you want to make sure you pay attention. You only have a few seconds to do it.
Hey, you up there! I'm a police officer!
So you've met up with Sybil, the police officer, and then now the radio static is going off, and now we have a monster appearing. So now we have to kill the monster. So before, what I did was I just had it where you bashed the monster enough times, and then eventually, he would be killed off. Now I've added a complete new combat system for both melee and gun combat. Well, we only have the wooden plank. So I'm going to show you how this works. It's another kind of built-in mini game. So the way this works is when you bash the monster, you're going to have a combat reticle appear on the playfield. When your ball hits the center of that, a magnet traps your ball in there, and then it's going to present you with a quick choice of either hitting the left bumper or hitting the right bumper, indicated by a flash of a green in the reticle. You'll understand it as soon as you see it. If you do the right one, then it will present you with a chance to attack the monster. If you do the wrong one, the monster then attacks you and you lose health. So it's easier just to show it, so that's what I'm going to do. So there you go. I pushed the correct action, which was the left flipper, because it was flashing green to the left. So now you can see I have my wooden plank. We're zoomed in and we're able to attack. So now you push your action button to whack that guy. And there you go. So that's the basics of how the combat system works. And you can see he's got a little bit of blood on him. Now if you do it wrong, then he'll attack you and then you lose health. If you take too long, you'll lose health. Alright, so let's keep attacking him. Now if you don't like how that zooms in, you can change that. I've added the option so it won't, you can change it in the table options so it never zooms in, it just keeps the same view all the time. Alright, so you just keep playing like normal. And there you go. Now, in this particular fight, you can't kill him unless you shoot him. Later on that changes, you'll use whatever weapons you have, but for this particular one you have to kill him with a gun, because it's a way of trying to show you how to equip your stuff and how to use it all. That's the whole point. It's kind of like a tutorial, if you will. So now you'll notice this is flashing and the DMD saying equip your handgun. So to do that, because we now have Sybil's handgun, we can now use that. So enter our inventory, weapons. So now the handgun now is an option, and we have 5 shots of ammo to use. All right, so we're going to equip that, and now you can see the playfield shows that's our weapon. Now it's telling us to shoot the monster. How do we do that? Similar way to how we do normal combat. You bash him, choose the right option, and then your gun will come out, and you have to make sure you shoot him at the right time. And there you go. That's 1 shot. So we have 4 shots left. And there you go. I'm going to do 1 more. Alright. So all the monsters after this, you use whatever weapon you have available. Whether it's a gun, but if you run out of ammo, then you can't use the gun anymore. So now you're gonna have to switch back to your wooden plank and use that to attack the monster. Because there's gonna be parts where you may not be able to progress without killing the monster. So I didn't want to make it so that you were stuck and you couldn't progress, right? So yeah. So now we gotta basically take off and.
Sharon's lost. I think I know where she is, so I'm going to the school to look for her.
So we found one of Sharon's drawings that says she might be at the school. So now we have to find our way to the school. So now you've seen the environment's changed again. The layout's changed again to the other layout. So in this case now, just keep going like normal. Following through. So now we found the map. So now this is the next phase of this section. This is a different kind of game. So now we have to find our way to Midwich Elementary School. So to do that, as you can see, the environment's changed again because we're working our way across Silent Hill, right? We're by the Bolorama and the hospital. So what we're going to do is we are going to just basically avoid the armless monster there. Alright, so that light flashing is telling you that, okay, you've made the correct shot. So now go into the kicker. And now what we need to do is we need to check our map to find our way to the school because we don't know how to get there. So what you do is you go into your map, you just look at it, and now the map changes to show you the next place to go. You exit the inventory.
They used to say this place was haunted.
And you notice the ramps have changed up. Now, the models will change up more in the final game, but the idea is that you're going to a different location each time, right? So now we have totally different ramps. We have this right ramp that goes to that wire ramp, and we made the correct shot. So now it's telling you to go back to the inventory to look at your town map so you know where to go next. And then you just keep doing this until you find your way to Midwich School. And as you see, the ramps have changed up again, right? So if you go here, you know, it won't progress you. But if you go here, it will. And it's totally random. It's not the same every time, right? So we'll go check our map. And now we know the next place to go. And now you have 2 wire ramps instead of the previous ones. So you have to hit this one, and then our map. And now we're almost at the school. Now again, the models you see around will change up in the final game. But we're almost at the school. You just gotta avoid that stinking monster. Alright, I'll just cheat. Alright, see, now our layout's changed, and there's Midwich School. Now, there's not a whole lot decorating the area, as I said. More models to come. So, for us to get there, well, the monster's blocking our way, so we have no choice. We have to get by the monster. However, we only have 2 shots of ammo, so one of 2 things that happen. Either you use those 2 shots, but he's still not dead. You'll have to switch to your melee weapon, which is the plank. And that's how you'll eventually kill him. I'm going to cheat. So first of all, I'll get the ammo here. So we've found some ammo. So now that's been added, as you can see. But I'm going to cheat. So I'm going to activate, basically collect the shotgun. You normally don't get to do that until later on in the game. But I'm going to cheat so that you guys get to see what the shotgun looks like. So I've made it so that now I have the shotgun. So I'm going to go into the inventory. And now you can see I have the shotgun with a ton of ammo. This is just for testing, that's why I'm showing it. So now we're going to try to take him out with the shotgun. Oh, too soon. Alright, see? Even though it looks like it was close, and I know a shotgun should have hit him, but you weren't close enough. Alright. Oh, geez. I gotta wait a little bit longer. I guess my math is off a little bit. Alright, let's try again. There you go. Alright. I'll have to adjust that a little bit. Now, here's another thing that's really cool. I've added another option that if you want to have a different view for the combat, for the guns, you can have a iron sights view that will follow down from a first-person view of the gun. So that's an option as well that you can turn on. So I'm going to turn that on right now. So watch what happens now when the gun comes out. There you go. So again, you can change that, turn that on and off if you want. So I'll turn it off. So you can actually see the dude dying here. Oh, he's still not dead. Yeah, he's a tough little sucker. Man, he's taking a lot of shots. There he goes. And now the path's been opened up. Even though the blood's covering the insert, this is the way we gotta go. And now we've made it to the school. Alright, so now we're at Midwich School. So right now it shows you at the classroom right off the bat. I'm probably going to change this up so that it'll have you actually in like the main foyer, and you'll have a few different directions you can go. And you'll have to possibly collect the map, you'll have to find the keys, and basically make it so that you can actually get to the later part, which is following the little girl to the classroom here, and then eventually following her to another part of the school. So for now, it's all just kind of like it was before. It's all in this one room. But I wanted to add a little bit more from the original Silent Hill 1 game in there. So we'll see if that works. So for now, we found a flashlight. So now we're able to use the flashlights on the slings to light things up to make it easier to see. Alright, so now we'll make our way through here, and we found school keys. Again, this will change in the final game most likely. You'll actually have to find that somewhere in the school. It won't just be on the first level that you find. So now this door that was locked before that we couldn't get through, now we can actually get through it because we have the keys. So now if we go up there, then we carry on the next sequence of the game. So that's Alessa's desk. And that's the girl we were following before that looks similar to our daughter that we've been looking for. Ah, come on. Alright, I'll cheat. There you go. So we followed the little girl, and she led us into the girl's bathroom. And we can hear her crying in the stalls. Yeah, you're going to hear some odd sounds like that throughout the game at various different times. And if you have a cabinet with SSF, you're going to hear that inside your cabinet. Alright, oh, see, now we can collect another health item. And actually, let's check our health. So we're at 50, so I can use one of the health items and top up. There you go. Now keep in mind, guys, I kind of cheated, so I made it easier to get extra health at the beginning. It's not going to be that easy. Alright, work our way through here.
It's gonna be okay. I promise I'm gonna help you.
Alright, so now we found a corpse where the girl was crying from. We found basically something that leads us to a hotel. In this case, I made it a map. In the movie, it's a little different, but it's the same idea. But now the siren's going off again, so we know what's going to happen. It's going to get dark, and bad things are going to happen. that monster, oh, he's no longer there. He's on the ground. And everything he touches turns into this gross, disgusting filth. Alright. So this is the Janitor Monster. Now in the movie, this is one of my favorite monsters. It was new for the movie, and I thought it was very creative, you know. So I absolutely wanted that in this game. And I was very, very happy to not only have the Otherworld transformation or transition, which in future pinball you don't have modern features like streaming textures or procedural textures or shaders or things like that that do it all for you. So I have to do it the hard way, which is creating animation and then doing that with textures. And that's the other thing. The entire game gets loaded into RAM. Like, this isn't like where it's loading each level one at a time. The entire game gets loaded in at once. None of the original Silent Hill games are like that, you know, and most games aren't like that. So that's another thing to keep in mind. This is like a huge game that gets loaded all at one time. So the idea is you want to avoid him and his filth. But if you hit him, then you'll have combat. But then, in his case, I have it where you're avoiding him because you don't want to interact with him. I might change it so that maybe you can shoot at him, but, you know, for now, you know, and if you miss up, then you lose health. So, because the idea is he's disgusting, everything he touches is disgusting, you don't want to have anything to do with it. So just make your shots. And you'll notice that, you know, the combat reticle will wait there. So there you go. And now we can exit. Oh, that way. Alright. And then now everything's changed. The school is all completely different. And then in the movie, you see a bunch of these big bugs chewing away at a couple of guys who are dressed in miner outfits. And that's what the body is in the ground. So now you can see there's a lot of stuff from the older Silent Hill games I've used for resources. You know, the guys on the walls from Silent Hill 1 are like the priests in their robes, apparently, all tied up. In the top right corner, that's from Silent Hill 2. And yes, that's specific to that game's story, but it works in the context of this story based on the janitor's backstory. And I'm going with it. Works for me. And all the other bodies are similar to what you saw in the movie that are hanging all over the school. And then you can see the awesome, like, you know, like hellhole with the seal Metatron on there. And yes, the movie technically did not have the seal of Metatron like the game does, but it does. If you look in the walls, there's a very small Easter egg in a couple of spots where you can actually see what looks like is most likely the seal Metatron or something similar to it on the walls. So I'm going with it. See that? So now I changed it so you got that ball hang or the body hanging on there, and then it'll spin around when you go through the funnel. And then now you have the creeper bugs that you have to avoid, and they're a big pain in the butt because they just crawl everywhere and they impede your progress. And they don't like getting hit. So even though there's not a ton of, you know, unique shots, these dynamic targets, as I call them, you know, change up everything because they're not the same every time, right? So you have to constantly adjust your shots. So you have a choice. I can try making the shot, or I can try getting the health item. Now, I don't need it, so I'm going to try to make the shot even though I'm sucking. Alright. Video's getting too long. It's gonna be longer. Alright, we gotta keep doing that. Boy, these guys getting away, eh? Alright, and now all of a sudden we notice what looks like the little girl we've been following, only darker and dirtier, scribbling on a picture on a desk in the far distance. Now sometimes I might have extra things scattered throughout that might be extra items, like maybe an ampoule or something like that. Again, that's stuff I'm playing around with because it might be too easy to add that stuff everywhere. So if we exit, now we're in a new different area. And the courtyard is all different now. And we got good old Pyramid Head, the movie version of Pyramid Head. Because you'll notice I changed him up from what I had before. Before, he looked very much like the Silent Hill 2 Pyramid Head, which is the actual original Pyramid Head that was made specific to that story. The movie kind of did its own thing, and he looks a little different, so it's not the same monster, but we still call him Pyramid Head just for ease of reference, basically. So I put the Homecoming Pyramid Head's model on him and combined it with the model I had before to make it look as close to the movie as I could. Because I couldn't animate the Homecoming model because, well, he has no legs. The model has no legs, so I couldn't make it animate. I couldn't rig it. Alright, so Pyramid Head, you can't shoot at him, you can't kill him, you can't attack him. So if you hit him and you go into a combat mode, it's going to be a little different. You have to avoid his attacks, and you have to do it quickly. You do it wrong, you lose health, but something a little different happens compared to everything else. And this is very cool. Watch this. Oh yeah, he just cuts your ball right in half. And you see the bloody guts inside the ball. So, I don't know, I love that I got that working. I always wanted to add that from the beginning, and I'm glad I took the extra time to figure out how to do it. You know, I just think that's fun. You know, and you can see he don't like getting hit. And then he'll cut you in half that way. So, yeah, you gotta avoid him, or you're gonna lose all your health. Now, I might change up how much he takes off. You know, that's all the stuff I have to play around with. Oh, see? And I did it in the wrong direction. And if you do the wrong direction, you're stuck and you're screwed, and he'll attack you. But if you avoid him, then you're okay. There you go. Alright, so what we gotta do is we gotta work our way through here. And then run away from him. Oh boy. You don't like that. Alright, let's get our way through here. And then now the bugs are coming in, making it even more difficult. So when you're playing this normally, guys, it's way more challenging than what I'm showing you here. Because you got both Pyramid Head and the bugs you have to deal with. You're just getting in the way of everything. Alright, so now that we have physics as well, by the way, so we can try to control our ball a little bit better. I was hoping to backhand it into there, but... Alright, I'm gonna cheat. There you go. Alright, so we gotta get the steel pipe to jam the door. And then we found a steel pipe. I originally was going to have that as an extra weapon for melee, but, you know, it just didn't make sense since we're using it to jam the door, and we already have a wooden plank, you know, so keep it simpler.
Can we get out of here?
We're trapped.
Now, I may change that up so that when you go into the bumpers, it may allow something else to happen at different stages, but that's a wait and see in the future.
You hear that?
So the idea here is we want to... Okay, see, now you have another chance there. So there you go. You can pick up two things at once if you're paying attention and you do it fast enough. All right. So we know that's Pyramid Head approaching. Oh, the radio, and we can hear the radio going off. So that means something's nearby. So now Pyramid Head is, just like in the movie, using his big ass knife to jam through the door to try to make his way in there. So the way I've done this is, he knows where your shots are going, so he'll try to block them based on where you're shooting. So you have to time things so that, you know, the knife is busy, bottom line. So for example, see, he knew the ball was coming down in that flipper, right? Or he knew the ball was coming in that outlane.
I don't know what's happening. Do you know what's going on here?
Oh, it bailed.
What the hell were you doing over there? You're gonna get yourself killed.
And watch, see? I try to get in there, he knew. I try to get in here, he knew. So you gotta try to time it while the knife is busy, right? See, it's a lot harder than it looks. Now my health is down. So I'd recommend going to the inventory and topping up your health. Okay, we'll just sneak up there. There you go. Oh, that was too quick. And now the bugs are back again, making it even more difficult. So that's what I'm saying. So if you did enough times, now we're at the end, and you can have Sybil shoot at him to get him to go away. Now keep in mind, you won't have the shotgun at this point in the game normally. I did that as a cheat just to show you in the video. And stacking up the health is very much needed when you get to this point, because it's harder than it looks, you know, so you can run out of health pretty quick depending on how you play. And now we're back to normal foggy world.
What the fuck is going on? All right, I know this is crazy. I know. I found this. It's from a hotel. I don't know where it is, but she is in this hotel.
All right, so now we're in the hotel. So like the school, I might change it up so that you're not going to just be right here right off the bat. I might make it so that you're in kind of like a foyer and you have a few choices of where you want to go. And then you'll have to find your way to find hotel keys and other items to get to the point where you want to go, right? So I'll probably make it so that you get the keys later on. And that you'll meet up with Anna
What are you doing?
later on.
Mother needs more food.
And then there's an instance where you automatically get your health maxed out.
What number did you take this from?
111.
We gotta go to room 111.
So the idea here is you would find that drawing, then you'd make your way to room 111, but you got to know where that's at. And as you go through,
We are wandering far from refuge here.
you eventually find out that
There's no room 111.
there is no room 111. So where the frick is it?
What is it?
But then you see this picture here.
Burning the witch held back the darkness. It stopped the apocalypse.
It's here.
So then it's like, okay, but we have to get through this thing. So I need something to cut it with.
I'm taking this.
Now again, I might make it so that you'll find that in a separate room instead of having it be in this one single area, right?
There's a room in here.
All right. So now we've found a secret passage, and we'll follow through.
What is this place?
I don't know, we're in the next building. Looks like there was a fire.
And we find a burnt out area where it looks like something not nice happened here.
Who are you?
And then we find that little girl again. But this is the dirtier
Oh my god.
girl. She's got dirt all over her. She's
twin.
and she has darker. Like she looks all kind of pale and dark.
Are you
There, I'm
Lester?
just gonna cheat.
Where's my Sharon?
So Rose looked at her and she's like, "You look just like my daughter," you know. And then she's asking, "Where is she? Where's my Sharon?" You know, she's saying, "You could be her twin." And then when you approach the girl,
Look at me. I'm burning.
and then she disappears. You're like, "What the frick?" So if you look around, it looks like this used to be some kind of ceremony room. Ah,
I'm not okay. I need your help.
Angie.
I think I just saw Dahlia's daughter. She was the one that brought us here. Alessa.
We don't say her name.
And then you do that
That's
last
the
shot.
seal, isn't it, Anna? The symbol of your faith.
Something terrible happened here.
We have to leave! The darkness is coming!
Let's go.
And so then you make your way out.
Church isn't far!
So now you want to follow this girl to the church because you know the darkness is coming.
You run not from sanctuary, but from your fears.
And Dahlia's there trying to tell you don't go with them.
Do not do
Bad idea.
deceivers, they're damned. And those in the skin of sheep that brought about their own hell, they'll take you with them.
I've seen your daughter. I've seen Alessa. She's dead, isn't she?
Birds and glens and krakens.
She looks exactly like Sharon. She brought us here, didn't she? Why? What does she want?
He awakes in vengeance. Be careful what you choose.
Alright, so this is as far as we can go. Because I can't show you the multi-ball here because I have to change up the code to make it to work with the new physics. But the bottom line is, before, you would have 5 balls shoot out. And you would basically keep hitting everything as much as you can until eventually you hit it enough times and the inserts light up. And then you would eventually clear the monsters away. But then Pyramid Head would follow you and do something not so nice to the girl that you were following. And then you would make your way into the church. And that's as far as I can go. So, yeah. So I know that was extremely long, but I mean, it's a long game to show, and that's with me cheating. So, as you can see, it's a very big game, and there's a lot I haven't added, a lot I still have to do. The hospital levels are going to be huge, so we have to do those. And then you have the church levels at the very end. And then you have everything getting finessed and polished and all that with all good, new, finalized art and everything else. And, you know, and then PUP DMD and DOF and everything else of it. So bottom line is, this is going to take a long time before it's done, guys. You know, but when it's done, it'll be huge. It will be a table that will have so much content in it that you'll be able to come back and play a different part of it. And, you know, it won't be a quick 5-minute game. You know what I mean? It's going to be a lot to play in this game when it's done. So, and there's going to be a lot of probably changes by the time it's done compared to what you see today. So, yeah, I'll post more videos as more progress comes. I just wanted to post this because, you know, people keep asking about it all the time, and I haven't posted anything for a long time. I have been working on it. It's just I'm at a point where I can't show new stuff because it's kind of in progress. So that'll come. There's more to come. But yeah, I love how this has turned out so far. You know, once it's polished and everything, I think it's going to be great. You know, it's not going to be a normal pinball game, you know, and some people may like it, some people may not, you know, but it's what I want to make, and I want to see what I can do and learn how to do things, and that's what this is about, is kind of throwing everything I know into it. So, yeah, so currently I am doing a Masters of the Universe Collector's Edition table update. If you've gone to any of the websites or groups, you may have seen me post videos of that. That's very far along. That's like a Sonic Pinball Mania level table, as in like it's basically the whole thing's been basically redone. You know, the original layout's still the same, but the code, the modes are all basically new. It's huge compared to the original game, and it's very far along. And once that's done, then I'm full steam back into Silent Hill nonstop again, until I probably need a break again. You know, so Silent Hill 2 remake is coming out most likely next year. So who knows? Will my pinball game be done before that comes out? We'll have to wait and see. You know, I'm very excited about that. So we got a bunch of new Silent Hill games coming out. We have a lot of Silent Hill content going on. I'm super happy as a Silent Hill fan. It's awesome, and I'm happy to be able to show you guys my progress on this. There's going to be a lot more cool stuff, and I know this has been a lot to watch, but I hope you enjoyed the whole thing, and just keep an eye out on my channel. I will post more stuff, but Masters of the Universe is coming first. Watch that. Very cool, very fun. You know, I love how that's turned out. So anyways, that's it. I guess I'll see you in the next video, guys. See you later. Bye.